Hello and welcome back, and I've just got back from my trip to Shenzhen, China, where I visited a bunch of brands that we talk about here on the channel to find out more about their culture, their development, their support, and ultimately whether they deserve your money and your data. And we've got a whole series of videos coming up on that. However, of all of the things that I saw and all the meetings and all that crap that I dealt with over in Shenzhen, probably one of, if not the most interesting thing I learned about was Beelink's up and coming, frankly, the word attack on the world of NAS in the next 12 to 18 months. And in this video, I want to talk about what is probably going to be one of the most extensive rollouts in the world of network attached storage that I've seen in recent years. Now, for those that aren't aware, Beelink, a brand traditionally associated with compact, small form factor computers, rolled out earlier in 2025 one of the most popular DIY NAS solutions for a very long time, the Beelink ME Mini. It was a 6 M.2 NVMe NAS system with 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, 16 gig of DDR5 memory, as I recall, and it arrived with the Intel Twin Lake N150 quad-core CPU. Now, this little system was rocking around the $200 mark. A little bit more. There were some pre-populated solutions as well. It had a little bit of internal eMMC storage as well. And it just knocked everyone bandy. The design, the price, the storage capabilities, everything about it was just ticking so many boxes, and it wiped out the competition. And at that point, a lot of users were wondering what the hell Beelink is planning next. And I think it's fair to say they've not just sat on their hands. And although I can't go into lots of specifics as I go through stuff here on the laptop, when I was there, I had a huge meeting with the founder of Beelink, and he outlined alongside a product manager and a couple of people from their marketing team working as translators. And I'll tell you right now, when you need two people translating, that gives you some idea of how much you talk and how much everyone else is talking, by the way. They went through their entire NAS roadmap in terms of hardware components, in terms of product design, and more. Now, the naming may change, a lot of the hardware profiling may be tweaked over time, but this is a general outline of where they're going to go. First and foremost, there is the original Beelink ME Mini. This is going to see a 5 gigabit network upgrade. It's also going to see an upgrade in the memory, which is going to be converted over to SODIMM, SODIMM removable memory as needed. They're going to stick with the N150 CPU, but crucially, that 6-bay is now going to see an upgrade to 5 gigabit networking there. So that little version there. Now, I asked them about price increases. They did say this will have a small price increase attached to it, but that really wasn't enough in terms of what they're planning. And this moves us into what is going to be an expansive range of both the ME Mini series and an X series, an S series, and a Max series. Again, a lot of the naming may well change along with the profiling here. So what we're talking about in this video is just generally the hub of the whole roadmap and how it's going to be filtered across. The next most interesting thing is they are working towards a 9-bay version of the ME Mini. Now, this ME Mini, or there's the moniker Pro being thrown around, it's going to be a 9 M.2 NVMe system. It's still going to have an internal PSU, something I find astounding, but they are changing to a different style of internal PSU that's going to be mounted horizontally. Hopefully you can see that on screen there. Alongside that, it's still going to be utilizing the same M150 CPU, something I found quite surprising, especially given the number of PCIe lanes equipped to that CPU, but they are now exploring different CPU profiles, with the AMD FP8 CPU also being explored in these new growing range of systems there. They're also changing up the cooling system on this device as well, with a vertically mounted pipe coming off the CPU running towards the back of the system there. All of this was shown largely via graphics and just basic blueprints and discussions of exactly how this is going to be achieved, with diagrams with regards to active cooling, passive cooling, and just generally a lot of information to back up where they're going with this. Now, sort of moving beyond M.2 NVMe's, they are now also going to be looking at hybrid hard drive and M.2 NVMe solutions in both 2 and 4 bay. Now this is going to be a very compact little 2 and 4 bay with strategically placed passive cooling vent and an active cooling system working through the middle, drawing air horizontally through the system. Now, both of these systems are going to arrive with a removable motherboard tray along the bottom. It's going to be removed from the base. It's a much more compact variation of a similar architecture we have seen from other brands, but this is going to be a teeny tiny removable slot which will allow for multiple M.2 slots on board. Now the prototype version I saw featured 3 M.2 NVMe slots on the base alongside 2 SATA hard drive bays built in there. Again, that removable slot allowed you to not only perform maintenance and upgrades to the the motherboard, but also the base of the system features a removable metal heat dissipating panel that you can lift up and access the components that way. Alongside that, it featured a rubberized panel that contained a hex Allen key to access the panel as well, which also assisted, by the way, as desk mounted active vibration dissipation as well to lower ambient noise when the system's going to be in operation. Now, there was discussion of improving the base TDP in line with maintaining the system ambient temperature and just general thermals. But on top of that, these new hard drive and M.2 NVMe equipped systems are going to be rolling out with 10 gigabit networking there. There was mention of 10 GBE and 2.5 GBE, as well as the aforementioned 5 GBE upgrades of the original Pro Series device there. But from there, they started talking about their AI, their Max system. So again, we're still talking about the Beelink ME series here. Now that Max series was the device that I would argue is probably the earliest in development. It's going to be using that Ryzen 395 AI CPU that we've seen brands utilize before. I think Minis Forum utilized that same CPU. But this was also combined with early discussions of them integrating Intel Core processors in the 13th, 14th generation, perhaps even the 15, depending on when these solutions are going to roll out. Now, crucially, the amount of time before these systems roll out is really anybody's guess. I've got no doubt that they are working on these, as I saw active working prototypes, diagrams, and exploration of exactly how they're going to achieve these hardware configurations via the CPUs and enormous boards and huge kind of deep dives with the founder and the product manager there as he went through these hardware profiles and how they're going to be spanned across. And as I mentioned, I can't really talk about everything that was discussed because there's actually even more they're working towards. And it seems like they want to be the name in DIY NAS in the next few years coming out of that region, at least compared with other Chinese alternatives right now. Now, we've already talked about brands like GLI Net that hope to be the mobile router name and the KVM, but based on everything I saw, I think it is credible to imagine that in terms of the DIY scene, Beelink have got some very, very ambitious plans here. And it's going to be interesting in the next few weeks or perhaps in the next few months, seeing Beelink start to formally roll out the first wave of these solutions. Almost certainly it's going to be that ME Mini 5 gig networking upgraded version with the TDP tweaks, as well as that 9 bay version. It doesn't look like the hard drive amalgamated version is on the tipping point of release or at least launch, but nonetheless, all of this adds up to Beelink looking at the success that they had with the ME Mini in early 2025, looking at the positive kind of audience and wider buyer engagement and gone, do you know what, hold my beer. There is more that we can be doing right now rather than our mini PCs being used for multimedia, Proxmox clusters and more. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this brand is going to be and just exactly how the rest of the network brands and mini PC brands try to rise up to this challenge. Let me know what you guys think. Does this sound like something that may be in your basket in 2026? Let's discuss it in the comments. Hopefully there'll be an article over on NAS Compares link below as well. But apart from that, I will see you next time.